And to everyone who hates when I win, the winged victory came to the Louvre in pieces, and people still line up to see her. And I can only hope that despite my flaws, and despite my cracks and my breaks, and there are many of them, that at every premiere and everything I do, people will wait in line to see.
Rachel Zegler seems to be going through some really tough times. She received a lot of criticism for her last movie, Snow White, and although she tried to act strong by dealing with the backlash, I think she is one of the reasons why the movie did poorly. I did some research on how this movie is doing, and things are not looking good. Honestly, I really waited for the movie to end while watching it. I haven't seen a movie with such low ratings in a long time. The film made a catastrophic loss of almost $250 million, and they didn't even make back half of what they spent on the film. Rachel Zegler is seen as the main person responsible for the poor performance of the Disney production Snow White, which has suffered the most losses and has been subject to criticism. Rumors are at the forefront that her statements, her tweets, and most importantly her bad relationship with Gal Gadot, the other main character of the film, have negatively affected the film. The most striking factor that overshadowed the success of the film was the beginning of the Cold War between Gal Gadot. Gal Gadot is an Israeli Hollywood star, born on April 30th, 1985. So who would you side with in the current political situation in Israel? It's not hard to guess. Rachel Zegler tweeted from her X account that she supports Palestine. The different political views and statements of these two have become a never-ending focus of debate and criticism. In order not to let this conflict affect the success of the film, they attended many events together and gave many interviews together, but they could not avoid being the center of controversy. Of course, this wasn't Rachel's only political post. During the presidential elections in America, she posted a post on Instagram saying, "May Trump supporters never know peace." This wasn't the right move, as it alienated half of the potential audience of a film that was already going bad. One of those who was disturbed by this post was undoubtedly Megyn Kelly. She lashed out at Disney and Rachel Zegler.
In any Hollywood role, this is truly like, she has to go. I'm sorry, Disney. She has to go. And you're going to put out a Disney film with Snow White, a beloved American character, with a woman who hates more than half the country, the half that just elected Donald Trump. This is an incredible pivot point right now. We'll see which way the woke Disney decides to go.
Of course, these posts led Disney to a complete collapse. These posts brought all the criticism and damaged the reputation of the movie that had not even been released yet. Later, Mark Platt, the film's producer, flew alongside Zagler to meet with her. After these bad social media posts, Disney convinced Rachel Zegler to hire a social media expert, which they paid for. After all this, just before the movie hit theaters, Rachel shared 2 posts on her Instagram account. In the posts, she shared that it was a life-changing film and introduced the film crew as my family that I care deeply about. However, there was one person missing from these photos, and of course that was Gal Gadot. Of course, this was immediately noticed by followers of both parties and social media users. Many of her followers commented under her post, "Not a single pic with Gal Gadot. Why is Gal Gadot and you not posting anything together? Sorry you have to share a movie with Gal." Well, could this be a subtle and sweet post just to praise the team? Of course. But after all the tension and bias between the two, it didn't seem like a sweet and innocent post to me. This post made me feel like Gal Gadot wasn't seeing the team and was ignoring it. For some unknown reason, many of her fans think she's jealous of her. There is no such thing as good or bad advertising. People may make unexpected statements or make viral statements to attract attention and promote a product or a business. Such discussions can sometimes increase the success of a film and attract attention and create curiosity. However, this was not very successful for the Snow White film, and even dragged the film towards failure. Of course, it's not just Zagler's problems that are causing the film to receive so much backlash. In fact, it was clear from the day Disney released the trailer that the film would end in disaster. The trailer received over 1.8 million dislikes, which shows that fans were not excited for the film at all. You can tell that from the comments. Most of the comments under the trailer are as follows. You know it's bad the moment the comments have more likes than the video. If I saw this movie on a plane, I would still walk out. I paid nothing to watch this trailer, but I already want my money back. Wow, Disney. You truly are incredible. It took you 3 years, multiple rewrites, unnecessary CGI, and $209 million just for me to enjoy a comment section of a movie I will never watch. Bless you. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who turned this film into a bathroom stall? The reason for these comments is that the movie is very different from its original plot, and they made many changes to the script. And of course, this was enough to draw a lot of reaction from the fans. Snow White, originally made in 1937, is like a cultural heritage passed down from generation to generation, with a character of innocence, kindness, elegance, sincerity, and a very humane nature. In this new film, we encounter a character that is almost the exact opposite of this. We see a profile of a slightly narcissistic, egotistical, and sometimes arrogant person who expects people to join her cause, who overwhelms the crowd and knocks on the door of the royal court. Another surprise is that in the new live-action movie, Snow White will not be saved by the prince, and she does not dream of true love. I think the leads of the movie seem to be positive about this issue as well.
What do you mean by that?
I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be, and the leader that her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true.
In other words, in the original Snow White, who was waiting for true love and came back to life with the prince's kiss, is seen in this film as a woman who joins the people and knocks on the queen's door to take back her father's inheritance. Rachel Zegler explains this situation in another speech.
I know that you've told me before that your version of Snow White is different, and it's more of a 2022 version of Snow White. What did you mean by that?
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story. With a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
Super weird.
So we didn't do that this time.
A production that has become a world classic, that is accepted by all of humanity and watched with love for years, that mothers and fathers tell their children like a bedtime story. You call Rachel Zegler's love story, with a man who follows the princess, weird.
Weird.
I think it's weird that you belittle the original version of the movie you starred in and which supposedly changed your life, and that you watched it once and were horrified by it, and have never watched it again.
I was scared of the original cartoon. I think I watched it once and then I never picked it up again. Like, I'm being so serious. I watched it once and then I went on the ride in Disney World, which was called Snow White's Scary Adventures. Weird. Doesn't sound like something a little kid would like. Was terrified of it. Never revisited Snow White again. So I watched it for the first time in probably 16, 17 years when I was doing.
I think if Disney had known and predicted these events in advance, they would have definitely considered someone else for the lead role in the film. However, it seems like the names behind this unsuccessful picture of the film will have more trouble in the coming days. So what do you think about this topic, friends? Don't forget to tell me in the comments. We will continue the gossip there. I would be very happy if you follow me and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. I love you. Goodbye.